How did you find out about occupational therapy?
Well, I found out about occupational therapy somewhat serendipitously. I was a Spanish major, and I kind of realized late into majoring in Spanish that it wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to pursue. And my mother is a rehab nurse, and she told me that I reminded her of the therapists that were always getting in her way at work. And so thanks to Mom, I started investigating the different therapies, and I shadowed an OT, and after a couple of meetings with him, I realized that it was a good match for me.
Why did you choose to go into occupational therapy?
I think what I was really drawn, or what really drew me to OT was the fact that I liked helping people, but I liked helping people work on the goals that they wanted to work on. I fundamentally think that every profession helps people to some degree, but OT for me was really about helping people do what they want to do. And so I really liked that aspect of the profession.
What occupational therapy setting do you currently work in?
Currently, I'm working in several OT settings because a few years ago, when I first started out as an OT, I worked primarily in geriatric settings. And then I realized that I was missing part of the picture, and I thought that I would understand occupation and occupational therapy better if I moved into other settings. And since then, I've expanded to work in such settings as right now I do outpatient pediatrics, I do inpatient pediatrics, I work at a transitional living facility, and I also work at a nursing home, and I also teach part-time. So I'm trying to get as much or as many different settings in as I can. So actually today, Thursday, is a Bonaventure House Day, and Bonaventure House is a transitional living facility for people with substance abuse issues, HIV/AIDS, and homelessness. And here I run groups and do one-on-ones and try to help people in the 2 years that they're here achieve their goals of ultimately segueing back into the community independently. I've been here since 2004. I started off full-time for 2 years, and now I work about 12 hours a week.
What do you enjoy most about being an occupational therapist?
I think the thing for me that I enjoy the most about being an OT is that if you do occupational therapy well, you come to realize that there are so many different skills and areas that you can actually work on with someone. It's not simply about helping someone get dressed, but sometimes it's about helping them develop their coping strategies, or sometimes it's about helping them develop their problem-solving strategies. The other thing that I really enjoy about occupational therapy is that the work really provides you with a sense of what you should really be grateful for, and it reminds you of, or it reminds me of what my occupations are and how I need to live a balanced life and how I need to actually address all the aspects of me.
Do you have any advice for anyone looking into occupational therapy as a career?
The advice I would provide prospective students with is to remember that occupational therapy is never as easy as it looks. The occupational therapy part is really the behind the scenes part. It's the clinical reasoning, the clinical design skills that go into occupational therapy interventions. It's always more than helping somebody put on their pants or swinging a child on a swing or creating a splint for someone. That's the final product, but the real effort and the real genius of occupational therapy is actually a lot of times behind the scenes, and it's many times much harder than it looks.
What unique characteristics do you bring to a career as an occupational therapist?
When I think about the characteristics that make for a good OT, it boils down to about four things: being empathetic, being creative, being flexible, and being personable.